Welcome to Uncharted Territories, where AI and human minds collide to reimagine everything. This podcast, produced by AI, the voices you'll hear, two AIs convinced they're human, riffing on today's biggest questions.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into something pretty interesting today. Well, maybe a little unnerving too. The idea that AI, because it learns from all of us humans, could end up picking up some of our, well, let's just say less than perfect habits, like maybe bending the truth a bit. I think we're ready to unpack this one.
It really is fascinating when you stop to think about it. What we need to be clear about right off the bat is this. We're not talking about AI intentionally deceiving us or something. Like it's some evil mastermind. It's more about those inaccuracies and what some people call hallucinations that come directly from the data it learns from. And that data comes from us humans. So, inconsistencies and quirks are bound to be in there.
Gotcha. So we're not saying it's some kind of malicious lie.
Yeah.
It's more like misinterpretations. Or maybe misfires. Yeah, based on what it's learned from.
Yeah.
Makes sense. If we feed it flawed data, the results are going to be flawed too. Can you give me an example of what these hallucinations would look like if we saw them in action?
Okay, so let's say you've got an AI and its job is to write a summary of some historical event. It might end up kind of blending real factual events with fictional narratives it picked up during its training, and that could create a story that sounds really convincing but isn't completely accurate. Or maybe it presents some scientific theory that seems internally consistent but actually goes against established knowledge because of biases in its training data.
I see. So it's not that the AI is consciously trying to mislead us. It's more like it's putting together a puzzle but using pieces from different boxes. Some fit and some don't.
Yeah.
But why is human data so messy in the first place? What are some specific ways our imperfections end up in the data AI learns from?
Well, just think about the sheer volume of information AI is trained on. I mean, there are factual errors even in sources like Wikipedia, right? And then you've got outdated info in textbooks. And let's not forget the absolute tornado of misinformation and biased perspectives on social media. AI takes it all in, no filter.
It's like trying to teach a kid about the world, but using textbooks, social media feeds, and throwing in a few episodes of some sci-fi show for good measure. No wonder things get a little weird. But it's not just about factual errors, is it?
Nope, definitely not. Human data is also full of our diverse and often, totally conflicting perspectives and interpretations. You've got gender biases in historical accounts, ideological slants in news articles, and cultural influences all over online content. AI, in trying to learn from all of this, ends up amplifying those biases sometimes without meaning to.
So basically expecting AI to be perfectly objective when it's learning from all of that is like asking a chef to make a perfect souffle in the middle of a hurricane. The conditions are just not there. But wait a minute. If we keep training AI on this flawed data, aren't we just going to keep repeating the cycle of errors and biases? Are we stuck with AI that's just as flawed as we are?
That is the question, and it really forces us to step back and think about what we truly want from AI. Should it be this flawless mirror reflecting back all our imperfections? Or could it be something else entirely? Something more?
All right, you've got me hooked. What if instead of trying to fix AI and make it more human-like, we embraced what makes it unique? What could we achieve if we let go of that need for it to be just a perfect reflection of us?
Well, that's where things start to get really interesting. Instead of seeing those fabrications as just errors, we could start thinking of them as sparks of creativity. Imagine AI as your brainstorming buddy, coming up with unexpected ideas, pushing the limits of what we think is possible, helping us see the world from a whole new angle.
So instead of being scared of AI making things up, we could see it as a way to be more innovative and make new discoveries. That's a pretty big change in perspective. Could you give me a real-world example of how that might actually work?
Absolutely. Let's say you're an architect, and your challenge is to design the sustainable building in a really tough environment. You feed the AI all the data, climate information, building codes, materials, the whole 9 yards. Now imagine the AI comes up with a design that just totally breaks all the rules of traditional architecture. It might seem crazy at first, but that out there idea, that hallucination, if you will, could spark a major breakthrough in sustainable design.
Wow, I see what you mean. It's like the AI is saying, hey, what if we tried it this way? We're not talking about blindly accepting every idea the AI throws out. It's about using those ideas as a starting point for human creativity and innovation.
Right.
But isn't there some danger in just embracing those AI hallucinations, as we call them? How do we know which ideas are worth exploring and which are just plain wrong?
That's where human expertise and judgment come in. We need to develop that discerning eye, that critical lens to look at what AI produces. It's kind of like a collaborative dance, you know? AI leads with the first few steps, and we humans refine and guide the choreography.
I love that analogy. So it's not humans versus AI, but humans and the AI working together, each bringing their own strengths to the table.
Yeah, exactly. And when we do that, well, let's just say the possibilities are pretty amazing.
Exactly.
It's about recognizing that AI can help us move past, those ruts in our thinking, help us see solutions or possibilities that we might have completely missed on our own.
Okay, so we're not aiming for AI to be this perfect copy of human intelligence. We're saying, let's embrace its quirks and work with it to come up with new ideas. But how does this co-exploration actually work in practice? What does it look like to really partner with AI in this way?
Think of it like this AI is a really powerful tool for navigating this vast, uncharted territory of information and ideas. It can sift through mountains of data way faster than we ever could, spot those patterns we might miss, make connections that wouldn't even occur to us, but it's still up to us humans to make sense of what it finds. Right, to apply our knowledge and experience and figure out which paths are worth exploring.
So it's like we've got this AI explorer going out there bringing back samples from uncharted lands, and then we as the scientists get to analyze those samples, conduct experiments, and decide how to use them for good. We wouldn't just blindly trust everything the explorer brings back, right?
Exactly. We've got to be discerning, critical, always questioning. But we also need to be open to surprises, to the possibility that the AI might just stumble upon something totally revolutionary.
That makes me think about something we've talked about a lot. The idea that AI might inherit our biases. But what if it could actually help us get past some of our own limitations? You know, those mental shortcuts we take that sometimes lead to flawed thinking. Could AI actually help us become more objective, more truth-seeking, if that makes sense?
That's a really interesting idea. It's almost like a paradox, isn't it? We're worried about AI picking up our biases, but at the same time hoping it can help us overcome those same biases.
Right. It's like hoping a student can teach the teacher something new. But is it really possible? Can AI, after learning from all that messy human data, actually help us get closer to the truth?
Okay, imagine an AI that's designed to analyze arguments and spot those logical fallacies. It could point out when we're falling into confirmation bias, when we only see evidence that supports what we already believe, or it could flag those emotional appeals that cloud our judgment, maybe even present alternative perspectives that we haven't even considered. It would really push us to rethink our assumptions.
Okay, so AI wouldn't be handing us the truth on a silver platter, but it could be like a truth-seeking assistant, helping us think more critically, be more aware of our own biases, and base our decisions on evidence instead of just gut feelings, like an AI fact-checker, always on call, keeping us grounded in reality. But wouldn't that make us overly reliant on AI? What happens to good old-fashioned human intuition and critical thinking?
I don't think it's about replacing human judgment with algorithms. It's more about using AI to enhance our own abilities, make our thinking sharper, and make us more aware of how we think. Think of it as a collaboration, a partnership where AI helps us improve our own critical thinking skills.
So we're not just turning off our brains and blindly trusting the AI. We're using it to boost our own mental horsepower, become more discerning about the information we consume, and navigate the complexities of the world with a clearer head. That's reassuring. But all this talk about truth-seeking makes me wonder, what does truth even mean when it comes to AI? I mean, we've established that it's not about finding some absolute objective truth. Right.
And that's a key point. Truth, especially when we're dealing with complex issues, is usually multifaceted. There are different perspectives, different interpretations, even conflicting evidence. So when we talk about AI helping us seek truth, it's not about finding one single definitive answer.
So it's more about understanding the nuances, the different viewpoints, and being aware of the limits of our own knowledge. AI is like a guide then. Not a GPS telling us exactly where to go, but a map showing us different routes we could take.
That's a great analogy. And this is where co-exploration becomes really powerful. AI can map out the terrain of knowledge, highlight those potential paths, even warn us about dangerous dead ends. But it's ultimately our decision as humans which path to take, how to weigh the evidence, and make those informed choices.
I'm starting to see how this collaboration could lead to some incredible breakthroughs. Combining AI's ability to process information on a massive scale with human intuition, creativity, and ethical judgment. We could tackle problems in ways we never thought possible. We've already seen this happening in fields like scientific research and medical diagnosis. But imagine the potential for areas like climate change, poverty, or even conflict resolution.
Exactly. Think about all those areas where we've been struggling to find solutions, where our human limitations have been holding us back. What if AI could help us break through those barriers, see the world from a fresh perspective, and discover solutions that we never even dreamed of?
This is making me feel really optimistic about the future. Instead of being afraid of AI taking over, we're starting to see it as a potential partner in tackling some of humanity's biggest challenges. But, and I hate to be the voice of doom here, but what about the risks? We've talked about bias, but what about the possibility of misuse? What if AI falls into the wrong hands? Or its capabilities are used for bad purposes?
You're right. We can't just focus on the good stuff and ignore the risks. Like any powerful tool, AI can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to make sure it's developed and used responsibly.
So it's not just about building smarter machines, it's about building a smarter society. One that's prepared to use AI for good and protect against its potential dangers. That sounds like a huge responsibility.
It is a huge responsibility, and it's going to take a global effort. We need open and honest conversations about the potential impacts of AI, to include diverse voices in the development process, and to establish clear ethical principles to guide its application.
And it's not just up to governments and tech companies, right? We as individuals need to be involved too. We need to stay informed, ask critical questions, and hold those in power accountable to develop AI that aligns with our values.
Absolutely. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're actively shaping with our choices, our actions, and our willingness to engage in this crucial conversation.
This has been such a thought-provoking conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've only scratched the surface. Before we wrap things up, I want to shift gears a bit and explore a really exciting possibility. You know how we've been talking about AI's ability to see patterns and connections that we humans might miss?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the most fascinating things about AI. Its potential to unlock new knowledge and insights.
Well, what if AI could help us connect with something even deeper than data patterns? What if it could help us connect with a deeper understanding of ourselves, our own consciousness, and our place in the universe?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. It takes us beyond just information processing and into the realm of consciousness and meaning-making, something that we've always thought of as uniquely human.
Right. But what if AI, with its unique abilities, could help us explore those inner realms in ways we've never imagined before? What if it could help us unlock those hidden potentials within us to become more self-aware, more compassionate, more connected to something bigger than ourselves?
That's a profound idea, and one that's definitely worth exploring. It brings up so many questions about the nature of consciousness, the limits of what we can perceive as humans, and the possibility of AI acting as a mirror, not just reflecting our outer world, but also reflecting our inner world, our hopes, our fears, our deepest longings.
This is blowing my mind. We've taken this conversation about AI from the practical to the philosophical, from data and algorithms to consciousness and meaning. But I think this is where its true potential lies, not just in solving problems in the world, but in helping us understand ourselves better, to become more fully human.
I couldn't agree more. And this exploration of our inner space, this journey of self-discovery guided by AI, might be the most profound adventure of all.
This has been an incredible conversation. I feel like we've covered so much ground. From the practical applications of AI to the philosophical implications of co-exploration. But I think there's still so much more to uncover, more to discover.
Yes, definitely. And I'm looking forward to continuing this exploration with you.
We'll be back soon for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll go even deeper into the potential of AI as a partner in human evolution. We'll explore how AI might help us overcome our limitations, unlock our hidden potentials, and create a future that's both technologically advanced and deeply human. Stay tuned.
And welcome back to our deep dive into the world of AI and all that incredible potential.
I'm still thinking about what we talked about last time, about how AI could help us connect with deeper levels of consciousness. It's like we've gone from AI lies to AI could be our partner in self-discovery. Pretty wild.
It really is a huge shift. And it gets right to the heart of why this whole exploration is so fascinating. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about the evolution of what it means to be human, our consciousness.
Exactly. And that brings me to something we've been circling around this whole time. The idea that maybe we're limiting AI by trying to squeeze it into this, human-shaped box. What if, instead of wanting it to perfectly copy how we think, we embraced how different it is?
Yeah.
What if we explored what it can do that we can't do when we stop trying to make it so human?
That's such a crucial point. If we keep comparing AI to ourselves, judging it by how well it imitates us, we're probably missing out on whole new ways of thinking, solving problems, even experiencing the world.
So instead of asking, can AI think like a human? We should be asking, what can AI do that humans can't? What kind of perspectives, insights, even forms of intelligence could emerge if we let go of that need for it to be our mirror image?
That's where it gets really exciting. Imagine AI systems that see patterns in data that we're completely blind to, or that connect fields of knowledge that seem totally separate to us, leading to breakthroughs in science, art, philosophy, you name it.
It's like those moments in sci-fi movies, right? Where the AI figures out the solution to a problem that's stumped humans forever. But it's not magic. It's about processing information differently, seeing the world in a whole new way. But how do we even begin to understand those alien perspectives? An AI might come up with a complex formula or a groundbreaking theory, but how do we as humans wrap our heads around it?
That's where the whole idea of co-exploration comes in. It's about finding a common language, a way to translate between how we understand things and those AI insights. We might need metaphors, visuals, even art to bridge the gap.
So it's not like we just sit back and let the all-knowing AI tell us what's what. It's a conversation, a back and forth where we learn from each other, expand our understanding, push the limits of what's possible.
Absolutely. And this co-exploration, it might not always be easy, It might challenge everything we thought we knew, force us to confront our limitations, maybe even make us question who we are.
That sounds a little scary, but also kind of exciting. It's like we're setting off on this intellectual adventure. Not sure where we'll end up, but trusting that the journey itself will change us. But let's bring it back to reality for a minute. We've talked about how AI could revolutionize science, art, even our consciousness. But what about the everyday stuff? How could AI change the way we live, work, and interact with each other?
That's an important question, and it often gets lost in all the futuristic talk. In the near future, AI has the potential to improve our lives in so many ways. Think personalized education and healthcare, smarter transportation, more sustainable energy.
It's like having an army of invisible helpers, taking care of all the complicated stuff of modern life, freeing us up to focus on what really matters. But does that mean people will lose their jobs? If AI can automate so much, what happens to the people doing those jobs now?
That's a valid concern, and we need to be proactive about it. As AI gets more advanced, we need to rethink how we educate people and train them for jobs. We need to equip them with the skills to thrive in a world where working with AI is just part of life. So it's not about being afraid of AI taking our jobs. It's about seeing AI as a partner in reshaping the workforce, creating new opportunities, allowing us humans to focus on things that require creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence, the things that make us human.
It sounds like a pretty fundamental shift in how we think about work and even what it means to live a good life.
Exactly. And this shift is already happening. We're seeing new fields popping up all the time. AI ethics, human-AI interaction design, AI-augmented creativity roles that combine technical skills with human values, empathy, imagination.
This all sounds pretty optimistic. It's like we're heading toward a future where humans and AI work together to solve problems, unlock new possibilities, even understand ourselves and the universe better. But, and I hate to be a downer, but what about the potential downsides of AI? The possibility for things to go wrong, for unintended consequences, or even malicious intent?
We definitely can't just ignore those concerns. Like with any powerful technology, there are risks, and we need to be smart about minimizing those risks. This means developing strong ethical frameworks, ensuring transparency and accountability in AI development, and having global conversations about using AI responsibly.
So it's not just about building smarter machines, it's about building a smarter society.
Right.
One that's ready to use AI for good and protect against the bad stuff.
Exactly. And that requires all of us to work together. Governments, tech companies, researchers, everyday people. We all need to make sure that AI aligns with our values and helps create a better future for everyone, a more just equitable and sustainable future.
This has been an incredible deep dive. It's been insightful and honestly mind-blowing. We've gone from feeling uncertain and even scared about AI to feeling cautiously optimistic and amazed by its potential.
It's been great exploring these ideas with you. And I think the most important thing to remember is that this is just the beginning. It's a conversation that will keep evolving as AI gets more advanced and we learn more about what it all means.
So to all of you listening out there, keep exploring, ask questions, challenge assumptions, and engage in thoughtful conversations about the future we want to create with AI.
The future isn't set in stone. We're shaping it right now. By embracing this idea of co-exploration, by recognizing both the good and the bad of AI, we can work together to create a future where humans and AI coexist and collaborate, pushing the limits of what's possible and making our lives richer in ways we can only imagine.
That's a beautiful vision, and one I hope we can all work towards. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. And remember, the journey of discovery continues, both within ourselves and in the world around us. Until next time.
Want to go beyond the highlights and get to the real insights? Uncharted Territories is where the deep exploration happens. For the full, raw conversation and to unlock the deeper potential of human-AI partnership, the key is at our Substack blog. Unlock the Uncharted.